Hi everyone, welcome to a Constantly Calibrating interview. I'm Josh. Here's Justin. We are here at RTX 2018 talking with Greg Miller, Andy Cortez, Tim Gettys, Kinda Funny. That's right. We're doing an interview with a lot of Kinda Funny people right now.
That's what I was going to say, right? Historically, this is a 1v1 interview. It's just me talking to Constantly Calibrating.
I mean, it still could be.
And now you guys are so fucking sick of me. You're like, get in, Andy, get in, Tim. And I, for one, I'm all about it. You know what I'm saying? Glad you could join us.
Oh, no.
Andy, tell me about it. How you doing?
I'm all right, Greg. Well, you the interview now? Or what
I'm just saying, hey, baby.
What's good? Hey, baby. Hey.
Andy,
So what's up?
Oh, man. Andy, first question. What Gundam series are you currently watching?
Fucking shit.
My question.
Okay, guys. Let me take you back to when I was a little boy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just finally figuring out what my dick did, right?
Jeez, I know, right?
I'm not watching Gundam. Gundam is a thing with me where like I'm fascinated by the things, how they look, right? They look real cool.
If you weren't watching Gundam, you figure out how your dick worked. What would you watching?
Sailor Moon.
Sailor Moon. Okay,
Yeah.
understandable. Okay.
No, I grew up like watching Gundam Wing, and I was fascinated by the idea of it and like the politics and all this shit. I didn't understand what was happening.
Days?
Yeah, Toonami days.
Sorry,
But I don't watch Gundam regularly. I'm not a huge fan. But Greg, because I was making a Kinda Funny live shirt with the Gundam on it, sort of started saying all Andy does is look at fucking Gundams all day. Because I was using them for reference to like, I was taking pieces of different Gundams to like make my own so that I wouldn't have like a copyrighted version of one. And that's where the narrative happened. That's where the legend grew.
And honestly, I, for one, believe it's a deserved false truth that is out there because it was just this shirt, right? Team Fat. Tim, you remember this shirt when we made this shirt? Yeah. It took Nick all of, believe it or not, 30 minutes to make. But Andy was looking at these goddamn Gundams for like a week and a half. Like, just make the fucking shirt.
It was longer than that. I tried to make the shirt, and I was like, this isn't working. I give up. And then a couple of like weeks later, I was like, oh, I know how to make the shirt work. And then so I went back to it, and believe me, Kevin fucking Coelho, like, you're still working on that shit? You're still working on that fucking shirt? Like, shut the fuck up, Kevin. And so that's where the sort of Legend of Gundams came in. But I'm watching My Hero Academia. That's the only anime I'm watching right now.
I'm on season 3, I think halfway through right now.
Like I'm almost done with 2. Almost done with season 2.
Gotcha.
I mean, I was just going to say I'm caught up on it, I believe, and I used to hate anime, and apparently I like anime now. Who the hell knew that was going to be a thing?
Anybody that says they hate anime, they haven't found it yet.
Yeah.
They haven't tried. They haven't tried. It's like saying I don't like music. It just doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
You can't just not like it.
Well, my thing about it was I thought I hated anime. I actually realized when I got into my theories, oh shit, I actually just have some weird vendetta against animation, period. And that I didn't understand why I didn't like it. And then I was like, let's get the fuck over this. What the hell is with this mentality? And then I started actually like looking at stuff. My wife's an artist, so it made sense to actually take into
anime.
She also watches more with the second kid now. Yeah, she spent all maternity leave pretty much entirely just watching anime and the weird shit that popped up.
It's a lot of weird shit.
It's a lot of weird shit.
Mm-hmm.
That being said, not really weird shit necessarily, but I want to talk to you guys. You just recently did Kinda Funny Prom, fourth year of your Kinda Funny live.
Fourth live event, yes.
So you've now done, the 3 building and escalating live events. You've now done prom. What's next? Are we going to get like Kinda Funny bar mitzvah?
What's next is we announced that we're taking a year off. And I know that's the least fun answer.
No, I think that's the right.
But we need it. And I feel like we is not just us. I think it's the community as well. Yeah. Like I feel like it's going to give people a lot of time to kind of gear up and be excited for the next one. But what I'm excited about, and I know this is going to happen, the community is going to do something themselves. They're going to create a trip. They're going to figure out like wherever it is they want to go, whether it is a trip to San Francisco again, just because it's tradition, or if they end up, I don't know, trying to visit Johnny Ace over in Madrid, it'll be something.
Yes.
Approach to it.
Oh yeah, let us chill off, come back with our Assassin's Creed Origins, then come back with Assassin's Creed Odyssey and look hot.
There are several people in the community that already walked up to me at prom and they walked up to me at prom and were like, look, you may not be having something next year, but that doesn't mean we're not going to do something next year. Like, they still want to come to San Francisco and want to hang out and go to all these restaurants and have these giant meetups where they keep these friendships going, We were in an interview the other day, and they're going to ask about like what was your first sort of community, the internet meetup thing, and like mine was Kinda Funny RTX 2015 when I came here, and it was just something totally out of the norm of like I don't meet up with random people from the internet. What am I fucking doing? Like, is my anxiety gonna get the best of me? This is gonna be a terrible, like, just a terrible time. Why am I wasting my time on this weekend? And then I met up with all these people. It's like, yeah, I know you from the internet. Let's hang out. Let's go. Let's meet these guys at fucking Easy Tiger and hang out with everybody. And it's super hot, but we all just love the same shit, you know?
Yeah, I think what was terrible one over the JW Marriott, where everybody kind of just goes.
Oh, yeah, at nighttime, yeah. But this was like, there was an actual meetup at Easy Tiger, and everybody's eating pretzels, and
Nice.
it's a great time.
What's funny is the Kinda Funny Live, and like the whole thing for me was based off of this artist I like, Tone Deaf, which I'm sure people have heard me talk about a million times. But he used to do with his collective Q&5 this giant concert in New York every year. And after 3 of them, they took a year off, and they're like, we're going to take a year off and come back. And me and my brother and a bunch of other people flew to New York, even though they didn't have a thing, from San Francisco, just to hang out with the community of people. And because we realized it's a very similar thing, but we had this thing in common that we all liked the same music, and that meant that we had a lot of other stuff in common. And it was like, wait, we actually are friends. It's not just some weird internet shit. And I love things like RTX because it just like proves that in spades that, you know, we all care about very similar things, and we can just start conversations with whoever, and it feels like there's already something built in to talk about.
Well, yeah, it's that family nature, that the best friends kind of thing that you guys have established over the years. I think that just allows where you can create these meetup moments, these kind of things. And I do love the idea of the community doing something themselves. It's almost like, you know, that kind of funny vacation club almost, and in a weird sort of way, like them doing their own thing next year, flying to San Francisco, whatever they choose to do and organize. So Kinda Funny has been around for quite a few years now. How do you feel things have been establishing as you've been going? You've been bringing more team members on and things like that nature. Where do you see building towards with the type of content you're developing over the next year, etc.?
I feel like when you look at it as a whole, it doesn't feel like we've changed that much. But then when you start to look into the minutia of it all, like we have kind of reinvented ourselves multiple times, and we're just refining throughout the process. Like to look from where we started to having something like Kinda Funny Games Daily, and to have something like Party Mode. I feel like those are all shows that we wanted to do, and like that we felt like we were doing in 2014, 2015. But now it kind of feels like it's all being realized. Mm-hmm. And I feel like we're constantly in this state of refining, and now just trying to figure out ways to make more time to do new things, to do bigger things. And every time we have a second to breathe, which is very rare, just looking at our YouTube channels often, like I get really taken aback by it, where I'm like, oh my God, like we put out a lot of stuff, like a lot of shows that I would say are pretty decent quality, at least.
You guys put out so much. Like I've honestly gotten to the point where like I was listening to multiple podcasts and stuff, and I would get to the point I only get to listen to podcasts primarily when I was taking my kid to school, and by that I mean when I'm coming back from school, because no way in hell am I putting on some of this stuff when a 3-year-old's in the car. You're good.
You know what? They got to learn somewhere.
Yeah,
you know?
He learns from me. The shit that comes out of my mouth and
Sure.
my wife's mouth, it's ridiculous. The kids already walked into school, and I don't even remember, said some really horrible thing, which is like,
One day they're gonna learn how to give a blowjob with a grapefruit, and it might as well be now, you know.
I think it's the best parenting advice I've heard to date. No, what I was going to say is it got to the point you guys have this breadth of content, this stuff, and as a fan, it's both impressive and kind of almost intimidating a little to an extent, in a good way. There's just so much to take in that I had to kind of accept. I'm going to miss stuff that you guys put out just because life doesn't allow. And I think that's great. I think that's a really great thing that people can now start picking and choosing what they listen to, what they watch.
I think as we evolved, right, that was something the audience had to get used to. And I think it was better to get it used to earlier rather than later, in the way that don't get me wrong, there are still awesome best friends out there who watch and listen to everything we do. But I like the idea that with, especially with MCU and Review, which we found such success with, that there's a group that came in that is there for that show, and maybe they're catching the morning show, but they don't watch games daily. They don't care about games. They're not consuming that content. I like the idea that there's this breadth. It's a network. It's a channel on TV that people are watching some of the shows, but not all of the shows.
Well, it's like when we made the decision to have the Game Over Getty show into just one video instead of like the breakouts. That was like, I think, one of the best decisions in terms of like just decluttering the YouTube feed, and it just looks cleaner and nicer and consistent,
Makes sense. So do you guys have, at this point, that you can discuss, a dream project you feel is maybe on the horizon, maybe down the line, something that you're just thinking about or concepting out?
Andy's been talking a lot about building a life-size Gundam that we can pilot around San Francisco. No, yeah, we're always thinking of the next thing, right? I think, Tim, Nick, and I just went to dinner for the first time in forever. It's just like, hey, what is our vision for the next few years, and what do we want to accomplish, and where do we want to go? And that led to some really interesting discussions about the next shows, the next projects, how we want to handle the different stuff, what we think January 5th this year will look like, right? Our next anniversary. But what I found really amazing was going into prom this year, so many kids asking the question of like, cool, is there going to be a press conference? Like, because that's when you guys announce like what your changes are in your new shows and this, that, and the other, and getting to look at them and be like, well, yeah, historically, Kind of Funny, Kind of Funny Live 1, 2, and 3 have all had this press conference that kind of changes and resets everything for us, and we're not doing that this year because we're also proud of where we are and what the slate of content is, and we do feel that we're refining the shows, show by show basis, but in terms of what we've built so far, we're so into it.
This is a very vague, generic thing, but when I look back, like I often am organizing my computer files and just trying to like archive everything because I'm really anal retentive with that stuff, and I want to make sure that our history is documented. And I'll go back and look at spreadsheets of like before we left IGN, like what our dream content lineup would be on Kind of Funny and Kind of Funny Games and all this, and like what it would look like in terms of release schedule and in terms of like what happens on Mondays and Fridays. Do we do weekend content? This, that, whatever. And the one thing that's been consistent from then to now that we are in no place to do, and I hope that one day we are, is my dream scenario is to have the morning show, so Kind of Funny Morning Show, Kind of Funny Games Daily, and then on each YouTube channel, Monday through Friday, have a premium show every day of the week. So Party Mode on Wednesdays, and then I shouldn't have started on Wednesday, but like Monday,
Tim, that's not how the week works.
Monday Gamescast, right? Tuesday some other video game show. Wednesday Party Mode. Thursday like who knows what, right? And like just to have like the 5 video game shows and 5 Kind of Funny shows, and I just feel like that would feel so right, But like, man, we're so far from that. So damn far. But one day I do think that'll happen. And again, talking about Rooster Teeth, I feel like we are so lucky that we get to look at them and the mistakes they've made, the successes they've had, and kind of understand a model that could work. And I would love it one day if Kind of Funny had the resources and people and time and effort available to make that dream a reality.
Gotcha. Well, that being said, like as the past years, we keep getting updates from you exclusively at RTX. What achievement do you feel like you hit since last year? I'm sorry, trophy.
I would say a sense of identity, where Kind of Funny now is like we've always been a family, but now it really feels like, I go to Comic-Con. I've been going to Comic-Con for years, and we do a meet and greet. And the one thing everybody asks me is, "Where's Cool Greg? Where's Andy? Where's Kevin?" And it's like, I love that it is equally about all of us, and we kind of just like everybody gets that Andy is just as Kind of Funny as Greg.
Yeah, I was about to say that too, because like I haven't seen any other community that is so accepting when y'all bring on somebody and just understands it, kind of welcomes them. Like usually, I won't throw any names out there, but when someone comes into a certain thing that they're used to, they get all up in arms, and I just haven't seen that with the awesome best friends community.
It was a smooth transition for sure. Like I was nervous, right? Like coming in, I was like, I'm going to get so much hate. People aren't going to understand what my humor is about. People are going to people may not get it. Will they get it? I'm always just kind of in my own head about a lot of that shit. But again, I think what helped is that I was from the community. I wasn't just some random dude. Like, a lot of people knew that, like, oh shit, that's Maximum Cortez from Twitch chat. Like, that's really cool or whatever. Oh, he used to work at Rooster Teeth. That's really cool. And like, I think
shit, he didn't get that job at Funhouse.
not yet, man, not yet. No, it's just like I don't know. I felt like it was way easier than I could have ever imagined, and I was just so happy it was.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of last year, I think, I echo what Tim said, finding identity, really. And I think, to get to prom this year and be able to say, like, no, this is who we are and this is what it is. And people understand what every show is. Every show has an identity, which is something we struggled with so hard, right? Even when it was, like, Gamescast competing with PS I Love You, where I was like, all right, cool, but how many times did Colin and I walk into a Gamescast and start talking and be like, well, as we discussed on PS I Love, you know what I mean? Like, now that Gamescast is, what have we been playing? Here's a big topic. Here's mobile gamer bullshit. Like, that show has an identity and roles, and Kind of Funny Games Daily, you know what I mean? Obviously, it means so much to me as a show that, like, is the evolution of what we started on Podcast Beyond. I mean, like, what Jeremy Dunham and Chris Roper and Haynes and I started on Beyond, going all the way forward. And, for me, it was a huge deal to go to Comic-Con and come home that night and turn on our YouTube channel and go watch, Snow Mike and Cheeks Jr. do the show. And not only do the show, kill the show. And they follow the skeleton I've built for that show, but it is theirs very uniquely. And that's the thing of, it was nice and cool to get a glimpse of the future. Like, there's a future for Kind of Funny and the shows and Greg Miller, that it isn't always on our shoulders, that we're able to bring people in and elevate them up and let them go and they'll make their own ideas, but then they'll take over shows we've had so we can move off and do whatever. And, like, seeing the future's cool.
Cool. So when can we do that?
Yeah, I think another thing I want to talk about is with prom. Like, I love the fact that we are at a point that we can throw a prom for a bunch of nerds on the internet, and they had a blast. Nerds like us. Yeah, I mean, well, that's the thing is, it's like, it was just as awkward of an idea for us as it was for everyone else. And, we were worried. We're like, are people going to want to be here? Are they going to want to dance? Are they going to dress up? Or, like, there was so much questions. And being there that night, it just felt there was so much validation. Because it was like, oh my God, we're all here to have fun. Like, there was no judgment. Everyone dressed up and then just had a blast. And I think that that's a testament to, finding this voice and finding this vision and committing to it so hard that even an idea as outlandish as what is probably most people's least favorite event of their life, to be able to get it right. Yeah. Like, I think that's a really special thing. And so many people that went to every Kind of Funny live event and loved them, have told me that, like, prom was their favorite. They had the most fun, and because it was just about hanging out and really just enjoying things.
That's outstanding. Well, I think our time is at an end now. So, where can people find you? For anyone who's coming across our content, doesn't know yours.
KindaFunny.com. It's the best place.
KindaFunny.com. Awesome.
And anything you want to promote coming up? There is PAX.
We'll be at PAX. Or I'll be at PAX, not even you guys. Canada. Oh, we're going to Toronto. There's a million things. Just go to kindafunny.com. There's a schedule of events and where we'll be next and all these different things. When is this going live?
Soon.
If it's before Monday or Monday, I'm in Battle Creek, Michigan. Come hang out with me there.
That sounds. That's festive and fun. All right. Well, thank you guys so much for joining us. For anyone's catching more Constantly Calibrating stuff, youtube.com/ConCalPod. We stream live on Mixer, mixer.com/ConCalPod. With that, we bid you a good sign off.